Well, I'm out here in the shop getting some machines ready for tomorrow. There's just a few of my toolboxes. This is a delivery that I rebuild these on occasion. They're hard to come by, so I wheel and deal on them and try to get my fingers on them so I can rebuild them for people. Got a control module over here that I built. I took it off of a MBO machine and put some legs on it. That way I can test everything I'm sending out. These machines are pretty large, so I don't want to have one set up. These are just some of the machines I got racked and ready to go, and my workbench over there, and another workbench down there. I stock every metric size bolt, American size bolt, nuts and lengths from 1/4 inch all the way up to 5 inches long. Springs of every kind that you can imagine. Clips, metric, American, steel, inventory a lot of steel shafts. There's several tons of steel on these shelves here. Electronics are housed way up there. Lots of parts off some of these machines. Several, probably $10,000 in pumps down there. A few $1,000s in motors. More pumps, more compressors, more European plugs. These plugs you can't even buy anymore. Those sell for like $300 a piece. Steel. The bolts. This is off a machine that I build, using it as a table at the moment. Fasteners of all kinds, so we can build crates, pallets, skids to ship equipment in. Nail guns, vices. Probably have eight huge vices that we use. This cabinet here houses specialty parts for a machine I make. Over here, lots of cubby holes. We stock all kinds of fuses for all kinds of machinery. This is for some pretty big stuff. My small fuses are in the house. Light bulbs of all kinds for control cabinets. This is parts, just a few of the buttons and control knobs I have. Most of that's kept in the house in the basement. My electronic lab is in the basement. Those are Allen buttons. This is some of the ferrules and special electrical connectors that I use. Special cord cables, cord clamps, glands for clamping cables and cords of all kinds. Plugs like this. This one plug right here that'll sell for $300. Just that used plug. Can't buy them no more. I got several of them. From my entertainment days, I got a lot of microphone plugs. I use those on all kinds of equipment for specialty low voltage connections. Some of the small, tiny screws that I need. I just cannot stop to go to a hardware store, so I have to stock all this stuff in different sizes. So if I need it, I have it in stock. That's all American in there. Roll pins. These are all American roll pins of all kinds. Chain links. All kinds of different master chain links. Set screws. Collar sets. Grease fittings. These are all American. Air fittings. Got a machine in the house. I'm trying to think if it... testing a machine in the house right now. I think I might need a couple of those. I'm going to throw them in my pocket. Woodruff keys. American only. This is all American in here. These are all kinds of different springs. A lot of this stuff has come off of equipment. So I just got many hours in tearing equipment apart just so that I can get the springs off of it. I mean, I got to tear it apart anyway, so I might as well keep the springs. So I need some springs for this machine I got in the house. It's got to go out tomorrow, so I'm going to grab a couple of these. See if they'll do what I need them to do. Every time I come out here and grab springs and that, I end up having piles of them elsewhere. Then I got to come back and we got to re-inventory everything. That's a specialty machine. There, the parts are all inventoried. Now more motors down there. These are all metric shafts, starting at 12 millimeters, going all the way up to 30 millimeters. Metric bar, metric tube. Got most of my American stuff laid out over there at the moment. I got to find a home for it. We have to stock bearings of all kinds. Big bearings, tiny bearings, cam follower bearings, metric bearings. That's metric there. Those are American there. Timing gear, pulleys, and all kinds of different sizes and bore fittings, from big huge ones down to tiny ones. Belt sizes, we got piles of belts in here of all different sizes. Once again, sprockets, chains, metric chains, American chains. Down here we got some bigger housed bearings. These are all steel bar. Down here, you'd be surprised at how many machines I'm working on. And I might come over here and need a steel bar like this. If I had to buy that at a store, I'd have probably at least $50 in that one little bar. Especially if you count in me driving there. I mean, I got drawers of these. What am I going to do with that? You'd be shocked. I mean, we cut that, put rollers on the end. We'll have drive wheels on them for driving paper through machinery. This is all stuff that's got to get cleaned up that came in from my other shop. Well, that's just regular electrical stuff, but every type of industrial plug and combination of plugs you can think of back there. I think I stock every single one. Although I use mostly European, that's all American. Electrical boxes. That's all the fasteners. I mean, I probably have almost everything here that you could find at a hardware store. Down in these cases here are fine thread. Those are all standard thread. These are all surplus tools. Piles and piles of wrenches. Sometimes I put wrenches on machines. These are all springs that haven't been sorted yet. All these pulleys down here, I don't use those, but every one of those pulleys sells for $300 a piece. I quit advertising them because it distracts me from working when I have to come out here and take one and put in a box to ship it, because then I got to get it shipped. That machine there, they quit making. It was made from 1965 until this year. They contacted me to take the company over, but they wanted me to buy out that part of the division, but I didn't see how I could do it. I'm the only guy left in the country that restores them, I think. I don't know I'm going to do many more. I got like 3 to sell. Some of these are that's a Japanese machine. That's a German machine. They stack paper, bundle paper. They're pretty cool. That's a motor I blew up the other day. We make our own belts, so any machinery like this that needs belts, we have special belting tools that puts it together. This is all my wiring. These are all my drill bits. I got drill bits of every size, American, metric, all the way up to the tiniest of drill bits, all the way up to the largest. Well, I wouldn't say this is the largest, but up to 1/2 inch in these drawers. And then over here, you get into bores like this, where I can bore almost up to 2-inch holes with some of those types of bores. These are other metric bores. This type of machinery and tooling gets very expensive at times. Special hole reams for flush mount bolts, bits for machining, various things, rotary files for steel, extractors for getting broken bolts out, that whole set there. It's all metric drill bits. So these are all for drilling large 4-inch holes in steel. All our metric taps, American taps, for cutting glass cutting, pipe cutting. Metric steel is here, American steel is over there. These are metric shafts all through here, metric steel. Over here I keep a lot of my electrical prints here and blueprints. Here's all of my machining tools for measuring thicknesses, micrometers, verniers, steel rulers, protractors, reduction wheels, inside way to measure inside hole diameters. Office supplies up there. These are a lot of the electrical blueprints. Some of these blueprints go back to the 80s, early 80s. If I advertised them, I probably could sell copies of them, gun targets. This is a new toy I haven't played with lately, but it's a magnet that'll pick up like 600 kilograms. I'm terrible. I work in metric, but I don't work in metric weights. That'll pick up 1,000 pounds, I think. So you turn the magnet on and I can just clamp this on. No, 2,000 pounds, I believe. So I can pick this up with an overhead crane and pick up a pretty heavy piece of steel with that one magnet. Over here is my electrical setup, which is where I started to make my video. That's my special mouse catch bucket. I don't have any mice I caught. But to run 3-phase power, the power company wants too much money, $20,000 to put the power in. So we generate our own third leg. So to do that, we use a 3-phase motor back here. We use a circuit of high capacitors in here. And when we want to run the motor, we turn it on. You can hear it won't run, won't quite go. Hit your button. And it's just instant, it gives it a blast of electric to the third leg. Once it gets turned and the amperage drops, and it'll keep running on 2 legs of power. So we're running on 240 volt, but it's putting out 3 phases of 240 volt instead of 2, which then comes to this plug here, which then feeds 3-phase machine. And then I can test this machine and show the customer. Customer wanted specialty wiring on it, so I was wiring up this with a different wiring schematic for him, so I can show him that everything works. I hit the blue button. That feeds paper. There's the main module, so you can see it coming on and off. So that shows the customer that that works. Stop, start, stop, start, emergency, start. So everything works. So now I can demonstrate that to the customer. Anyhow, that's my shop. I haven't gotten my stereo hooked up yet. My TV works, but I gotta hook my speakers up. I got a new amplifier I'm getting ready to wire up. And I spend most of my time actually working in the house than out here, but it's air conditioned and heated and everything. So, depends on how big a project I'm working on. Obviously I can't work on huge projects, but some of the machinery I design is not real big, so I design it in the house. So, there's the tour. Thanks for watching.